Okay, so you found the chemistry lab. Yay. See what I mean by a little outdated? But there's plans to remodel this lab and the biology lab. And it has everything we need, so what the heck. So we're going to basically go through the safety guidelines, and then we're going to go play show and tell with like stuff that you're going to be using this semester. And then you're going to check in, and then you're going to go. So it shouldn't take that long. While I'm thinking of it, you see Rex over there, our over maintenance working. And when we move, we don't want to move all the chemicals that we've kept for the last 80 years. And so we've recently had people come in and take all of our chemicals that we weren't using. So we're kind of pared down to bare minimum right now. And so we'll kind of work with that too this semester. And we're getting new shelves, and it's the closest I can get to new lab digs right now. This thing is very hard to see past sometimes, but it's kind of like the old style. The 3 lines you see, the top line is electrical, the middle line is gas, and the bottom line, of course, is water. So just kind of how they used to do it. And they used to have chemicals stored here, so chemists could grab them and use them. So, but right now, I'd rather not have that there. But so in general, have a good time, but no horseplay. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, a little bit about safety stuff in here. Let's see, where to begin. We have a crash door back there. Oh, it's not a crash door, but it will sound an alarm. Okay, so if you open this up, it will sound an alarm. If this starts beeping, that means its battery needs to be changed. Okay, so we'll kind of listen for that. If you do need to exit quickly around the corner, there's the door to that little parking lot. So we could do that if we need to. Fire extinguisher. You know, I've not really used one before, but I bet I could have had to. Eye wash. We have 2 eye wash stations. This is my favorite because in addition to your eyes, it also has a ring of water that comes up. So basically, if somebody gets something in their eye, it's really a 2 or 3 person sort of, let's see what we can do to help that person. Hi, come on in. So this right here will shoot water out the 2 things, and if I pushed it harder, it would go around in your face, yes. Now, one of the things about the chemistry lab is we do not have, if you look around the floor, we do not have a floor drain. But that's actually on purpose because they don't want anything like going down the drain. This is also in your, did you bring your, okay, that's okay, that works. So let's see, if it's not in your eye but on your hand, quite honestly, the best thing is to run a lot of water over it. That's the biggest thing I've seen in here. I've not had any incidences with eyes, thank goodness. The closest thing I had was somebody down in Ms. Messer's area was making like a mask in art, and she got some plaster or something in her eye. And so she came up here and used this eye wash. So yeah, if you get anything kind of tingly on your hands, everybody's a little bit different with regard to sensitivity, just lots of water. Sink-wise, we have this sink here. This is cold water, and this is cold water. These jugs here are what we call our reagent water. So this water has been filtered to remove ions, kind of similar to if you have a little Calgon cartridge in your faucet at home. Okay, here's our filter system. What's that?
Kind of like distilled water?
Yeah, it's similar to distilled water, but this one just removes ions and particles, I would think. So what happens is I prepare it. This is my in, and it goes up through here and out through this. And then I fill the jug. And in the meantime, I've got this. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is actually measures conductivity. So this measures the effluent with regard to, am I removing ions successfully or not? Do I need to change the cartridge? So probably more information than you wanted to know. But if you need special water, reagent grade water, this is what you're going to use for your experiments this semester. Water, okay, one more thing about water is you guys all have access to water here. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's like,
Snot.
I don't know, let's do a test on it. See what the pH is. It kind of looks, it doesn't feel like calcium, it's like slimy. Yeah, a lot of times at the beginning of the semester, and notice how carefully I'm turning that on because it like splatters.
It's orange.
It is orange, isn't it? The beginning of the semester, it will be orange. So, oh.
Straight orange.
Yeah, here we go. Much better.
What happens when you let water sit in the pipe for weeks?
Yeah.
Then the deluge goes off.
Ugh. Not good.
So that's not our drinking water, is it?
No. No. In fact, thou shalt swallow in here, but thou shalt not consume fluids in here. So you can't drink in here. But anyway, so there's the water. And you gotta be careful because it splatters. It hits the trough, and of course the troughs are tilted and they go down to, you know, when we redesign a lab, it's probably not the way it's gonna be. One more sink if you need hot water is over here. And I have some general housekeeping I need to catch up with, so this is my prep area. And again, when we redesign a lab, the prep area will not be in the same area as the lab. So, yeah. So this has hot water and cold water, so just kind of make yourselves at home. All right. Oh yes, blanket back there, fire blanket. You see there's the coat rack next to that, so again, I mentioned just kind of make yourselves at home. Feel free to pack things on top of there or hang your coats or whatever. Number 3, thou shalt not do any extra experiments. It's kind of like Simon says, basically you only do what's, you know, if you have any questions about want to try something, we could talk about that. And you'll never be working alone. Number 5, keep your area neat. Number 6, when you guys check into lab, I'll put it out so I don't forget. Remember I said you guys need safety goggles for this semester? When you check into your drawers, sometimes your drawers will already have goggles, and feel free to use them. But here are some free goggles. Okay, these look kind of worn, but there's some nicer ones in here. Okay, these are all legit. Sometimes I'll have students that want to wear like ski goggles or something. You know, those won't work in here today. Okay. Scrolling down. Okay, contacts, like as in contact lenses. There's 2 lines of thought. Some people think if you're wearing contacts and you splash something on your eye, you have a little bit more time actually to protect your, what would that be, your cornea? I don't know. And some people say contacts are bad because they provide a place where actually chemicals can get underneath and kind of aggravate you. So, I don't know. There is a place in the upper right-hand corner when you go to check in to tell me if you wear contacts or not. So, long hair. So, especially when we work with Bunsen, when we work with flame, you probably want to put your long hair back so it doesn't be an issue. Number 9. Probably beginning of the semester, the whole footwear thing we might run into a little bit. You at least have to have your toe covered. So I'm trying to think of footwear that just covers your toe and leaves everything open. But so otherwise you can't do lab. No smoking here or anywhere. No food. So 11 and 12 is that you can't, and it feels weird, but you actually can't drink anything in here. Now you can have like bottled beverages that you have in your backpack. Or what I've had students sometimes have their morning coffee, you can just slip it just outside the door. No one's going to bother it. Or you can put it in my office. Okay, so when I worked at the ammunition plant, there was kind of a strange thing. You weren't supposed to even chew gum in the
lines.
You know?
Yeah.
So they're just worried about ingesting something that you don't want to ingest.
Don't eat explosives.
Yeah, no eating explosives. Little.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you breathed in, and it just was like eating a bar of soap.
Not
That
good.
was line 3A.
Not good. Number 15 is a little dated. Okay. No MP3 players, no personal stereos, but don't like bring earbuds and plug them into your phone and jam out while you're working. So I do play usually Pandora, so if that music bothers you or if you want to listen to something else, let me know. I'm definitely open to, if you're familiar with Pandora, you just like give it a genre or a artist and then we train it to what we like or don't like. Okay. The next one, actually, kind of can show you here. So this is a stir plate. The black thing's a stir plate. And basically all it does is have a metal thing that swirls around. And of course, magnets are attracted to the metal. And so in here is a magnetic bar. That white thing's a magnetic bar. So, but my point is if we need to transfer a certain amount of liquid, a lot of times we will pipette, and this is a pipette. Okay, it's a verb and a noun. Oh my gosh. So what it says is basically, and I've heard some labs do this, that you don't want to just put your mouth to this and suck it up. I know. So instead, you use a pipette bulb, and all this does is provide suction at the top. So here we go. This is how you would do that. Now, when we talk about, we're going to talk about precision and accuracy. And some glassware is more accurate than others, okay? I don't know if you guys can see that one little mark there. That little mark is actually to deliver, TD, 10 milliliters, okay? So this pipette's pretty accurate for getting volumes, okay? So, and so then what you do is you just, this is the way I do it anyway, and you guys might be kind of familiar, water kind of does this curvy thing and creates what we call a meniscus. So you're looking for the bottom of the curve on that line. That looks pretty good. So then the way you operate a pipette is you wipe off that last drop and then you move it to where you want to transfer it, which of course would not be the sink, but your other vessel and let it rip. So now people are going to wonder what that little green stain is. We'll make them wonder. Okay. The next one has to do with ventilation. So I want to kind of tell you a few things about ventilation. We have two ways of ventilating this lab. So as much as I complain about this lab, it's got some, it's pretty standard. It's good. So one way is general ventilation. So if I turn on this okay, so two things happen. Of course, we got more light, which is great, but we got a little extra noise, which is why I had it off. Okay, but if you can hear that hum, we need to hear that hum because that is evacuating the air in the chem lab. That's a good thing. But the other thing, if you're working with an experiment that starts to fume, okay, it's creating gases locally, what we do is we use these fume hoods. So we've got 3 fume hoods over here. This glass thing is called a sash. Okay, it goes up and down, and it kind of reminds me of a glove box, kind of where you see on science fiction movies where the biologists are worried about. Okay, so when I turn this on, I don't know if you can hear that hum too. Okay, that's a separate fan. Okay, and if I open the sash and I kind of put my hand back there, I've got like kind of a false wall that has a gap. That's where the air is going. So in order for fume hood to be most effective, what you need to do is to pull down the sash just so you have minimal exposure. So that's kind of how that works. And these are all the same. I can turn the light on here in these 3 bays. So, yeah. Let's see. Number 18, whenever you heat liquids, have you ever gone to make macaroni and cheese on the stove and you go to boil your water and it's looking like, I know it's going to boil, because I got that thing cranked up. And all of a sudden it starts to go, okay? Basically those gas bubbles that you see rising up is water that has gasified. It's just water vapor, basically more buoyant than the liquid water. The water gas comes up, it's lighter than the water liquid. So anyway, that's kind of onset of boiling we call bumping. And so what we do to prevent that kind of surprises is whenever we're boiling an aqueous solution, we put something down there at the bottom where it's being heated to kind of make it a gentler boil. Okay, these are called boiling stones. They're inert, and when you use them, your directions will say, just use a few, and that's kind of what we mean by a few. Not a tablespoon. Okay, so what they do is they provide like a little irregular surface for your water to go ahead and go from liquid to gas on a little surface, and for those bubbles to rise without being so extreme. This is kind of like if you've ever heard, if you get new glassware, like new Corningware or something, and you want to boil water, it's actually a safety concern because your new Corningware has no scratches on it. It's perfectly smooth. And you can nuke it, and you can actually get it to heat up above 212 Fahrenheit without boiling. And that's what we call superheated. So anyway, okay, you go to YouTube videos and type in superheated water. Let's see what that is. Because the problem is, one more thought about that, is so say you heat it up to above its boiling point temperature and it didn't boil. Well, then you reach in to go ahead and make your tea, and you disturb it, and it's like that finally kind of takes it out of its superheated condition, and it goes. So that's the problem with superheated. All right, number 19. You guys won't be diluting solutions, but if you ever do, it's alphabetical. It's acid to water, A to W. Okay, number 20. During pre-lab, we'll kind of talk about any sort of environmental concerns, how we handle our waste, which is usually down the drain or in the trash can for what we're using. Number 21 is kind of silly. Never point a test tube at somebody because it might shoot out something. That's kind of silly, I think. And number 22 is just kind of be careful throughout the lab. Kind of, you'll know what lab we're going to do ahead of time, so feel free to read it. Number 23. If anything happens, let me know, because we have, instructors have like an incident report sort of thing. And number 24 is just think. Don't space out too much. Are there any questions?